They call me the Living Venus de Milo, but I was just a girl trying to brush her hair with her feet. My name's Frances O'Connor. I'm 96 years old, and before anyone knew me from the posters or the circus lights, I was just a little girl in Minnesota, or without arms, but full of fight. It was 1929 when I came into this world, the year the stock market crashed and hope seemed to vanish from the country. But for my mother, the crash was just background noise. Her baby had been born with no arms, and no one, not the neighbors, not the nurses, believed I'd live a full life. But Mama did. She wrapped me in a soft blanket, kissed my forehead, and said, "Frances, God doesn't make mistakes. You're here for a reason." She taught me everything, how to eat, write, sew, even put on my own shoes. All with my feet. There were days I cried, and days she did too, but we kept going. She never let me feel less, not once. By the time I was 6, I could write my name with a pencil between my toes. By 10, I was tying ribbons in my hair, and by 12, I was performing for curious crowds, not because I wanted fame, but because people needed to see what was possible. The happiest years of my life weren't under any spotlight. They were quite ordinary and beautiful. When I turned 18, I joined a small traveling show, not for fame, but for freedom. On that road, I met people who didn't stare at me like I was strange. They asked questions. They laughed with me. They saw me. And then I met James. He wasn't loud or flashy, just kind, a quiet man with gentle eyes who fixed tents and carried heavy trunks like they weighed nothing. He never asked about my arms, not once. Instead, he asked if I liked lemon pie. I did. We got married in 1951 in a little church outside Kansas City. No big wedding, no white dress, just us. He lifted my veil with hands that had built everything he ever loved and promised to never let go of what we were building together. We lived in a small house with creaky floors and a garden that only grew tomatoes. I sewed curtains with my feet. He read the newspaper out loud every morning, and every Sunday he played his harmonica while I danced in the living room. We didn't have children, but we had joy, real joy. The kind that doesn't need an audience to feel full. It happened on a Wednesday. James had gone to the store to get bread. It was just another afternoon. I was folding laundry with my feet, humming to an old radio tune. I remember the way the sun came through the window, warm and soft like it always did. Then the phone rang. It was the sheriff. "Ma'am, I'm sorry," he said. "There was an accident on Route 9. A truck swerved into oncoming traffic. Your husband, he didn't make it." I dropped the towel. My body didn't move. I couldn't cry. I just sat there, barefoot, alone in the kitchen, listening to the silence swallow me whole. I kept waiting for the door to open, for him to walk in like he always did and say, "They didn't have lemon pie, so I brought apple." But he never came home. The funeral was small. I didn't want flowers. I didn't want speeches. I just wanted to hold his hand one more time, but I couldn't. And somehow, that hurt more than anything. People asked how I was doing. I smiled and said, "One day at a time." But at night, I curled up in the bed we once shared, pulled the blanket up to my chin with my toes, and whispered his name into the dark. After James died, the world kept spinning, but mine stopped. I stayed in that little house for years, alone. The creaky floorboards didn't echo with music anymore. No harmonica, no laughter, just the sound of wind tapping the windows like a question I couldn't answer. I stopped performing, I stopped sewing. Some days, I didn't even get out of bed. The circus folks stopped writing, the neighbors stopped knocking. Time didn't pass. It just gathered in corners like dust. I would sit by the window for hours, watching people walk by, young couples holding hands, children chasing leaves. And I'd wonder, did they know how lucky they were to have someone's fingers wrapped around theirs? My legs began to stiffen, my balance faded, and slowly I lost the strength to do the things I once mastered. The little victories that once defined me, tying my shoes, brushing my hair, flipping a page with my toes, they slipped away. But I kept one thing, a photograph. It was the two of us, James and me, standing in front of our tomato garden, smiling like fools, barefoot in the dirt. I'd taped it to the wall beside my bed. On the nights when breathing felt like too much, I'd look at it and whisper, "You're still here. I still see you." Last year, my neighbor's grandson came over to fix a broken window. He was maybe 16, shy, quiet. As he was leaving, he noticed a photo on my wall and asked, "Who's that?" I told him. I told him about James, about the circus, about lemon pie and tomato gardens, and how once a girl with no arms danced to the sound of a harmonica. He didn't say much, just smiled, nodded, and said, "That's really cool." A week later, he came back with a surprise. An old harmonica, said he found it at a thrift shop. "I don't know if it works," he said, "but maybe you'd like to hear it again." So I did, and something shifted. Not in my body, but in the air. The sound was shaky, but real. And for the first time in decades, I felt James beside me again. Not in memory, but in music. The harmonica's with me tonight, it's why I'm here. Not to impress you, not to be remembered, but to remind you that love does not vanish. That even when the hands that held you are gone, the music stays. The memory stays. And sometimes, when the night is quiet enough, it plays just for you.
I wake up slow in the morning light, still pour 2 cups, though you're not by my side. Curtains sway like you just walk through, and I still hum that tune you used to do. The garden's dry, but I planted it. Tomatoes never grew when you went away. The porch still creaks like it always knew, that I still sit there waiting just for you. I still hear you in the silence, in the echo of my name, in the soft hum of the ceiling fan, or the rhythm of the rain. You're in the keys I cannot press, in the steps I cannot trace, but your love, it never left, it just changed its place. like smoking Sunday's best. I held it close and closed my eyes, and there you were in that quiet sky. I still hear you in the silence, in the echo of my name, in the soft hum of the ceiling fan, or the rhythm of the rain. You're in the breath I take alone, in the space you used to grace. But your love, it never left, it just changed its place. People say time heals all, but time don't bring back your call. I've learned to smile but still like, and every laugh I have to fake. I still hear you in the silence when the harmonica plays, in the kitchen there, in the empty chair, in the words I still can't say. You're in the music of the memory that nothing could erase, 'cause your love, it never left, it just changed its place. Yeah, your love, it never left, it just changed its place.